Many of the real ones throughout our country in a demand for respect for black women who have been victims of violence in this country, particularly at the hands of police. They've said, say her name. Say her name. You've seen this if you followed what went down with, Breonna Taylor and unfortunately many others, Sandra Bland. But now in this case, in this presidential race, when it comes to Kamala Harris, I say her name correctly. Say her name correctly. And Donald Trump refuses to do that. And I argue that by him intentionally mispronouncing this woman's name, whenever you hear him say it, he's basically calling her a nigga. First, what you talking about? You going too far now. Hold on. I was with you for a second there. Hold on. I'm better explain. Ain't gonna take me long on this one either. I'm about to explain real quick, like, okay. But before I do, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy first, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on something. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, put all you people on. Okay. So yes, the presidential race is heating up now. Okay. We got our full 2 tickets, Trump and Vance versus Harris and Walls. I'll talk about Harris's pick of Walls on another segment momentarily. Make sure y'all watch that in all segments of episode 204 of Put It On Something. Okay. But I told y'all I would address this name shit, and I shall. So that's something as black people we have to deal with a lot in this motherfucking country. Is people disrespecting our names. Okay. We have to deal with that. The Moeshas, the Shaniquas, the Levantes, go on and on. All these jokes about us having ghetto first names and you can't get ahead if you have an ethnic first name. Some in our own community say that we shouldn't name our child a name that is clearly a black name because it will make it more difficult for them to get a job. So like Mr. Bear, my beloved son, his first name is Amari. And I had somebody, a black person older than me, tell me I shouldn't name him that because it's gonna make it hard for him to get a job. Now this is before I knew my baby had autism and all that kind of shit. Okay, so we just talking typical, childhood development type shit. What I'm talking about. So yeah, this person was telling me I had made his life more difficult by naming him Amari. My point was, if a motherfucker does not want to hire my son or do business with my son because of his name, then my son should not want to work for those motherfuckers nor do business with those motherfuckers. Fuck them. Now stand on that. But see, folks want to always fuck with our first names like that. But let's talk about these last names, shall we? Let's talk about these last names. Because we got some of the most basic ass motherfucking last names. Why? Because we just got the last name for the most part. For the most part. The black experience in America is one, unfortunately, rooted in slavery for most black Americans. Okay. And if you know anything about that shit, the so-called slave owner named the enslaved people. And quite often they were given the last name of said enslaver or whatever last name that some bitch wanted to give. You feel me? So there's a lot of black folk with the last name Johnson. It's a lot of Smiths. Okay? Whole lot of. Okay? But for the most part, these last names are pretty basic. Okay? Because I guess most of your enslavers must have had that Anglo-Saxon origin to them. At least here in this country. All right. Now, if you go to some of our, these other countries throughout the diaspora, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Brazil, all these different places, you know, where whites who went down there on some imperialistic shit and were also enslavers, you know, that's how my black brothers and sisters from those places end up with all these damn Sosas and Perez and Jeans, you know, all this different kind of shit. At the end of the day, our last names ended up tied to them. But let's look at some of their other last names, okay? Because see, what America had in the late 1800s through the early 1900s was a wave of immigration. A whole lot of white people came over here from Eastern Europe and Southern Europe and shit like that. And their names weren't just John Smith, okay? Or George Washington, okay? A lot of these motherfuckers came over here with names like Coach K. Y'all know Coach K, former head coach of Duke basketball? Let's take a look at his last name. Shall we? So there's a reason why when folks talk about his ass, usually they don't even say his whole fucking name. Okay? They just say Coach K for a reason. This is why. Look at that man's last name. Okay? They tell me that the correct way to pronounce this shit is Mike Krzyzewski. Mike Krzyzewski. Where in the fuck do you see an S and an H together in that name to get Krzyzewski? Now, some other research I did said that, hell, that ain't even the right way to say this shit. That was Americanized, okay? But you got a lot of motherfuckers in this country with last names like that. Prominent white people with last names like that. But you got John Trump and his ilk trying to act like they can't say Kamala. You can't say Kamala, motherfucker. But you can say that shit right there. Get the fuck out of here. When you hear Trump and his ilk call Kamala Kamala, they are calling her a nigger. Let's take a look at another one. Okay? This is somebody I fuck with. Let's take a look at Sabrina Ionescu. Okay? Sabrina Ionescu. Now you might say first, what the fuck you talking about? That shit don't say no Ionescu. I'm telling y'all that's how you pronounce it. Okay? When I first started covering women's ball hard like I do, okay, I was mispronouncing her name like a motherfucker. I was saying Sabrina Ionescu and thought I was doing a good job. I'm pronouncing that motherfucking shit. Bullshit. That ain't how you pronounce it. That girl's name is Sabrina Ionescu. And I'm going to call that woman by what she wants to be called. That's her name. God damn it. I'm going to pronounce it the way I'm being told to pronounce it. So if it's Mike Krzyzewski, God damn it, that's what I'm calling him. If it's Sabrina Ionescu, God damn it, that's what I'm calling her. There's no need to be disrespectful when it comes to motherfucking name. For what? Unless you are intentionally being disrespectful. I didn't highlight them for any particular reason. Those are just, I love sports. And these are just two difficult names in sports that I've come across. You know what I'm talking about? But many of y'all who gone to school with white people and y'all they take roll, and the teacher goddamn get the call and roll, and the teacher might fuck up the black kid's first name, and the teacher gonna fuck up the white kid's last name. But it's only the black kids who get this stigma for having a black name. While the white kids, Coach K ain't changed his motherfucking name. With a name like that, a name that looks like that and is sounded out like that, Coach K could have said, you know what, fuck that shit. I'm changing this shit and make it easy. My name gonna be Mike Johnson or some shit. Mike Smith. Mike Davis. You know what I'm saying? He said, fuck that. This is my family name. Shit, I'm repping my family. Same thing with Sabrina. And they all right to do that. They are right to do that. Let's see what kind of black folk, because of racism in this bitch, we supposed to not have our names. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know if that is a black name. The woman is black and Indian. So I think some people may have said that word, that name comes from her Indian heritage, and that it means something in particular. I don't know, whatever the case is. Say that woman's name right, bruh. Say that woman's name right. See, I know what these bastards trying to do. What they're trying to do is throw shots. You know, Trump being an old wrestling guy, he been associated with Vince McMahon and WWE and shit like that. Motherfucker trying to act like she's Kamala. Do y'all remember Kamala? Let me show y'all Kamala. That's Kamala, y'all. The wrestler, whose real name was James Harris. James Harris. Okay. But y'all know how Vince McMahon and his writers come up with all these damn characters, quite often playing to racial biases and racial stereotypes and all that kind of shit. I wish brother James Harris never did this motherfucking character right here. I sure wish he didn't. Okay. But on the slick, that's what that son bitch Trump is trying to refer to. That's what he's trying to do. That's what he's trying to do. Which is some bullshit. Again, this brother's name is James, or was now, he's passed away now. His name was James Harris. This brother was goddamn from Mississippi. Okay. But Vince had him playing this bullshit ass role in the WWF. So when Trump is doing that shit, either he knows or somebody in his camp told him keep doing that shit. You know, it's a dig at her to mispronounce her name. It's a wink to white supremacists to mispronounce black people's first names. Okay, and for those who know about this character, and again, wrestling is wildly popular in our country. Y'all know this. It's the way to say she's less than. Just like they used to call these African brothers and sisters over there savages. That's this whole character supposed to be some savage from Africa. Or as Wikipedia says about the character, Kamala portrayed a fearsome and simple-minded Ugandan. He wrestled barefoot, clad only in loincloth, his face painted with war paint, and 2 stars painted on his breast, and a moon painted on his stomach. Bullshit. So I want y'all to pay attention going forward to how Trump pronounces Vice President Harris's name and how other people around you pronounce her name. Pay attention. Because this woman is not new. She's new to being at the top of the ticket, but this woman is not new in our public life. The woman has been vice president of the United States for 3.5 years now. Okay? The woman has been attorney general, okay, of our most populous state, a senator from our most populous state, and now the vice president for the past 3.5 years. Now she's at the top of the ticket. These bastards have heard how to correctly pronounce her name. Just like I heard how to correct, just from watching the games, how to correctly pronounce Sabrina Ionescu. How to correctly pronounce Jokic. Jokic's first name is not Nicola, it's Nikola, something like that. It's closer to that. And I try my best when I'm speaking about him not to say Nicola and say Nikola. Okay. But American media usually says his name incorrectly. And I saw something that said Jokic, just goes along with it. He ain't tripping. I ain't seen that from Kamala Harris. I ain't seen her say, yeah, you can call me Kamala. It's fine. I have not seen that. Maybe that's out there. Maybe that exists. I have not seen that. All I see is motherfuckers say Kamala Harris. Other than folks like Donald Trump. So pay attention to that shit. Because whenever this bastard is intentionally mispronouncing this woman's name, he's calling her a nigga. Put it on something.